The bees tried everything. They would hang their hives high up in the trees. They would hide them in the bushes. They built inside holes or on the ground, but nothing worked. One fall, after all the flowers had gone, the queen bee held a meeting.
My fellow Amawak, it is almost winter and we are in trouble.
What shall we do, Your Majesty?
What shall we do?
And one young bee spoke up.
Your Majesty, there's someone who might help us. I've heard many stories about his power and kindness.
Who is this wonderful creature?
His name is Wesakechak. He calls all creatures Nizimuk, his little brothers and sisters. He might help us protect our honey.
Well, it's the best idea we've had so far. Let's give it a try. Let us go and visit this Wesakechak. Everyone loves our honey, especially that terrible bear, Musqua.
Well, tell me, why is that a problem, little sister?
And so the Queen Amu told Wesakechak how they needed their honey as food so they could survive the winter. How other animals and birds would steal the honey over and over again.
Because you are good workers, and because you work hard to help each other, I wish to give you something.
But what is it? What is it?
Come here, young bee. Try this on.
He passed his hand over the young bee. Now, the young bee carried a sharp little stinger at the end of his body.
What's that?
That is a weapon to use against those honey thieves.
But it's so small.
Ah, true, but there are many of you.
And he waved his hand over all of them. And now all the bees had stingers.
Now, you will be able to protect your honey and yourselves.
This time, Musqua had a surprise waiting for him.
I smell my favorite, yummy honey. Oh, I see it, dripping out of that old tree.
Up the tree climbed the hungry bear. He had one thing on his mind, honey. All of a sudden, Musqua felt something on his nose. Something sharp.
Oh, what was that?
Dancing angrily in front of Musqua's nose was young bee.
That was me. Go away or I'll call the rest of the bees and give you more of the same.
That little sting hardly hurt at all. Move aside, insect. I'm coming up.
And Musqua continued to climb towards the honey.
Here comes the rest of those pesky bees. But who cares? They can't stop me. Oh, what was that? Oh, stop that! Oh, it burns like fire. Oh, I'm going.
Tabel is the canoe. And by the traditions, the canoe brings you into the world when you're born and takes you out of the world when you die. It's the vessel between the worlds. It enables you to transport from one place to another as a god would move through the sky. We now move upon the water. We move in a holy state. We move together in unison. The canoe, tabel, is a holy instrument of transporting people and teaching them to work together. That's why we have songs, so our minds could be one in the song. The tree that provides the canoe is a holy tree, for it is a great person in the creation of mankind. It is so holy that many thousands of generations will come and go, and the one tree shall stand yet. It is so holy it has witnessed the beginning, and we have devastated it in its end. The canoe is asked for, prayed for, prepared for, and brought home as a mighty log. And from the log you must honor the spirit of the tree, and so you let the tree go. And when you let the tree go, you're requesting of the ancestor who is always behind you to bring in the God spirit of Tabel, the canoe. At that time, preparations are made, and the vision of Tabel inside the log can be seen by the craftsman.
And we sang a song, Indian song, our belief, and we burned all the cedar that was used to brush the log off with. Used that, and we burned it all up, and Eleanor and I were singing, and she was singing, but she had to pray too in the Christian way for the work that the people were going to carry.
And the craftsmen must fast and prepare themselves and bless each and every tool that they use that's handed down from their fathers, and kept honed as the disciplines in their own mind are kept honed.
One time before the axe, we burn the trees, you know, and burn it all the way around to fall it. Then the axe come around, start using the axe. Then the power saws come around.
And always in mind the work that's necessary for the people to come together in unison, to be able to ride upon a God's vessel called Tabel, the canoe. The adze is called the Klakotsot, which means the spirit of the movement of creation from God. And it is believed that the tool is raised in prayer and allowed to fall upon the wood, and then it brings life to the character or the spirit that's inside of that piece of wood. It doesn't make change, but it works in creating the change.
Used to use axe all the way through, you know. All the way to make a canoe, use axe. And that little hand adze, you know, that's what they use. That's what they used to use most.
The old and the new can still be combined in that the Indians still use a lot of their old ways, like the canoes. There's still canoe fishing. They use the canoes in the river for fishing. Sometimes my son goes out in the ocean fishing with a canoe, him and then maybe a couple other boys. And the canoes are still very useful.
We got to get all this, Andrew. We got to get all this, Andrew. Not that part.
I think the paddle helped the tribe a lot to bring back a lot of memories that have been here, the self-esteem, taught everybody to work together, put all their differences aside and work together. And that was the main thing, everybody working together to succeed in this important event.